Creed, Fruitvale Station, Black Panther 1 and 2, and now this weekend, Sinners, have all been directed by Ryan Coogler. Has he had the best consecutive 5 films of any director's career? Let's talk about it.
This is Popcorn for Breakfast, presented by St. Louis Area Smoothie Kings. Now, here are your hosts, Cam and Kurt.
Welcome, welcome, welcome. Come with us to Transylvania. Here we've transported our studio into a wonderful Transylvanian place for the theme of the movie, right, Cam?
Yes. You didn't watch the movie, did you, Kurt?
I watched Hotel Transylvania.
I should have been more specific. No, when you hear vampire movie, that's where your mind goes.
Oh.
And usually you mask it better when you don't see the movie, but I can see that you just kind of run with the vampire thing. Not that kind of vampire movie.
Twilight. I watched Twilight, and I saw the beautiful love triangle between Bella and Edward and the sparkly Robert Pattinson.
Yep, it was that one.
Can you imagine? One week I really want to see the wrong movie and come in here and say nothing, and then start giving my awards, and you'll be like, "What in the world are you talking about?"
It'd be great. I think it could be this week. I think you still might be yanking my chain, but no, I think I do wonder how many unsuspecting people are going to walk into this movie this weekend, like not knowing what it is.
Yeah, because I don't know that if you only watch the first 10 seconds of the trailer for this movie, you don't know it's a vampire movie.
Yeah.
And honestly, if you know nothing about this movie,
a lot of people won't know anything.
Yeah.
Right? Like, I think a lot of people, there are a lot of people, particularly in the Black community, who see Michael B. Jordan and it's like, it's appointment viewing.
Right.
And I think people know Ryan Coogler now.
Absolutely.
And I do want to say too, I freaking love how the Black community supports their artists.
Yes.
I am inspired by that.
Mm-hmm.
I just went to the movie tonight and it was packed.
Yeah.
And it's like, this is not one of the movies that, like, I don't feel like Sinners has gotten the same kind of advertising budget or things like that. It's just like, if Michael B. Jordan's on the screen, the Black community is there. Ryan Coogler directs the movie, the Black community is there. Like, and you see this across the board with other creatives. You think of Spike Lee, you think of Jordan Peele. Like, it's across the board. I'm inspired by that, and so shout out to the Black community for showing up.
It's pretty amazing.
It's just awesome.
Yeah, you went to an evening showing. I went to a matinee showing. It was still just as expensive. Just want to throw that out there to movie theaters. But very packed theater. Very packed. I was very impressed.
Yeah, and this is only, you were just saying it before we got on. Sorry, my glasses fogged up.
It's because it's so hot in here.
It's Ryan Coogler's 5th feature film that he's directed. How is that possible?
I don't understand.
I checked I just kept looking at it. I was like, no.
It's nuts. Creed. Let's go over them again. Creed, Fruitvale Station, which that's the movie that put him on the map.
Yes.
Black Panther 1 and 2, and now Sinners. 5 films, all bangers. I don't know that there's been another run that successful.
I mean, we're very fortunate, right? Because there's a lot of really good directors who are on really good runs right now. It's kind of crazy.
Yeah.
Certainly you think of Jordan Peele. You think of Robert Eggers, you think of Ryan Coogler, and then, there are others as well. You've got the Ari Asters of the world, which, I know Beau is Afraid was kind of like, people didn't love that.
Yeah, I didn't like it.
Yeah, so debatable, right? Debatable, but there are lots of directors. We'd have to go back through history and see if there's ever been a time like this where there's so many burgeoning directorial stars that are just like, cranking out, just like not missing. It's nuts
because it's 5. I always I've been mimicking this mirroring it to John Cazale, who is an actor in The Godfather. Actor in The Conversation. He starred in 5 films. All 5 got nominated for Academy Awards. Some of them competed against each other in the same year, so they didn't all win Best Picture. And then he passed away, sadly, from cancer. But
super sad.
So Ryan Coogler, protect him at all costs. Please wrap him in bubble wrap.
Right.
We want to see way more things from him because everything he puts out is a home run.
Well, and just think about it too. Like, this is his 5th movie, right? And you've got Warner Brothers backing in the Brinks truck. This is a big budget production with a huge, talented cast. huge production budget. They shot it with IMAX cameras, which are expensive. They shot it on 70 millimeter film, which is expensive.
Yeah.
I mean, he's already got carte blanche, and this is his 5th movie.
Yes.
Like, that's crazy. And to be clear, like, he's earned it, right?
Yeah.
I mean, Black Panther, smash success. Creed, smash success. Fruitvale Station, huge success. Critically, not so much commercially, because it was like it couldn't do things commercially. It didn't get the distribution for it. But yeah, so this was one of those movies that was circled on the calendar as soon as it popped up. Like, I actually remember, this is really weird. You know how certain things just like stick in your mind. When this came across the ticker, and it was like, Ryan Coogler's next movie is going to star Michael B. Jordan, obviously, and is going to be a vampire film. You were like, oh no. And I was like, oh yes, this sounds great. But then it was funny when the trailer came out, I was like, I don't think it looks that good. And you were like, it looks amazing. And so I can't wait to talk about this for exactly that reason. Like, we have been flip-flopped on our perspectives of this movie.
Yeah.
And I managed to kind of center myself heading into it, but it's one of those that whenever you see it and you know what it is, you're just so interested. You're like, I have to see it. Even if it's good or bad, I don't care. I just have to see it. I think if you're a fan of movies, or even if you're new to movies, this is one that you're like, yes, this is interesting to me.
That's right. Well, we're done fangirling for the moment on this movie. We're ready to log into this, dissect it in a spoiler-free way. We're going to talk about 5 different categories that we're going to give awards to this movie for reasonings that we believe are good and true, and things that maybe relate for you as well. We're going to talk about, and the Oscar goes to, that's our best actor for the film. The Scene Stealer, that's our best supporting actor. We're going to talk about a showstopper moment, which is a scene or an element of the film that really like just grabbed us and arrested us, that had us like stopping in that moment and really giving pause and giving applause. We're going to talk about director's shoes, where we step into Mr. Coogler's seat, if we would ever be so honored to do so.
We're not worthy. We're not worthy.
And talk about things that we would have changed. And finally, last looks, we're going to wrap everything up with our final thoughts and scores on this film. Cam, I've got such good luck today. I get to go first. Whatever I pick, you can't pick. It's a pretty great day. How you feeling?
It's not fair because you bailed last week, which is not cool. And you bailed on Novocaine, kind of.
Listen.
I mean, you didn't bail on Novocaine, but...
Listen, I was in a elementary / high school production of Newsies.
Right.
Where I played the policeman / mayor. And I had prior responsibilities that I had to take care of.
It's true. I saw the performance. Well done.
Thank you.
I still think this is an injustice to me. I don't care, but I will cede it. And I think the stars have aligned for you because of what I believe you will choose as your and the Oscar goes to. So I'll just let you take it.
I don't know if you're going to pick my same Oscar goes to. I think I might shock you because I shocked myself.
I think you will shock
me. And
me.
the Oscar goes to Michael B. Jordan, ladies and gentlemen.
Oh, of course I expected. What? You love Michael B. Jordan.
I do.
I was like, this is perfect. Kirk gets to go first, and he's going to give it to Michael B. Jordan, and everything is going to be right in the world.
Now, so just a heads up, if you haven't seen the trailer, Michael B. Jordan does play a set of twins. Okay, that's not a spoiler. It's in the trailer. I just want to make it clear, Cam, you cannot pick the other twin in this movie.
You know me too well, dude. I honestly was thinking that halfway through the movie. I'm like, what if I just pull the rug out on Kirk and just go with Michael B. Jordan also? You know?
The other performance of Michael B. Jordan.
Well played.
No, this is a package deal. This has happened countless times in film. And in fact, it's actually happening just within the past 6 months. Robert De Niro just doubled himself to play 2 different characters in a film. I think it was called The Alto Nights. We have, of course, Tom Hardy has done this before in film. Lindsay Lohan, most famously, The Parent Trap, I think, right there. But this, you have a set of twins. Michael B. Jordan is playing 2 brothers, identical twins. And I mean, he's playing 2 sides of the cards, 2 sides of the coin. It's incredible. They each have like a cute nickname as kind of like a code name for their kind of sly, I don't know, 1930s nefarious business doings.
Yeah, you
right?
can say it, right?
Yeah,
that's not a spoiler.
They're kind of in the mob a little bit. They've dealt and danced with the mob, and so now they're trying to take on this new life and move on with it and have new success. So what I love about them is that a lot of times when you have someone playing 2 characters like this, even if they're supposed to be brothers, twins, sisters, whatever it might be, in all the examples that I gave, you sometimes get a really eccentric character
Yep.
and then a really neutral character. And we didn't get that at all. He really played both of them like two true human beings that you could encounter in your everyday life. I love the nuances for both of them. They both go through giant story arcs, each of them, and he was able to grow them and let their character development rise and fall just naturally with how great the writing was for this film. And I've never seen him this locked into a role. Every other performance has been fantastic by him, and of course, he's been in every single one of Ryan Coogler's films before. Black Panther 2 has a very small part, a little glimpse into the what is it, like she gets locked in, right? Like
oh yeah.
what do you call that? The plane, the something plane, whatever that
astral
is.
plane.
Astral plane, maybe.
Yes.
Whatever. The ancestor plane. I don't
Ancestral plane. Yes.
He's there briefly. He's in all of them. He's gonna always be in these movies. But anyways, you see him in such a different focus with these two characters than you've ever seen him before. And it is so amazing to see that he is still growing and still studying. When you get to be this age as an actor, you can kind of just continue to pull off your old tricks, and he is fighting against that so hard, and he does it so well.
Yeah, I love that you said that. I feel like I have kind of been a little more skeptical about Michael B. Jordan throughout his career thus far, just because there are flashes of brilliance, right? Truly, like, and anyone who's seen the Creed movies knows this. There are flashes of extreme brilliance from him, but there's also, you know, there's been some growing points, some inconsistencies, and sometimes it's the writing, and sometimes it's maybe he's not jiving with the director. Him and Ryan Coogler, it's a match made in heaven. I mean, is this the new Scorsese De Niro pairing? I mean, like, that sounds reckless to say because Michael B. Jordan's so young and he still has a lot to prove and things like that. But this for me is a strong stride in that type of direction, not to compare him or anything like that. But I really do feel like this was the defining performance of his career. And this was a prove it one for me, to be honest, like for Ryan Coogler and for, because I think you could say that Wakanda Forever was Ryan Coogler's worst movie, probably
out of that lineup.
Out of that lineup, which does not mean it's a bad movie. I liked Wakanda Forever, but it was like, okay, let's see. This is totally original, written and directed by Ryan Coogler. Michael B. Jordan getting to do this dual role. Like, what's it going to be? And at first, I was worried about that thing that you were talking about with the neutral and then the crazy eccentric, because it almost came off that way right away. But man, he just exploded it out, and it was so detailed. And the attention to detail is really what takes this over the top, I think, for Michael B. Jordan, who now I'm very confident that he's that guy.
Yeah.
He's that guy. So that's what you love to see.
He's so good. How about yours? What do you got?
I'm going with newcomer Miles Caton. I think that's how you pronounce his name. He plays Sammy Moore, who's really sort of the character around which this plot really revolves. He's the first character on the screen that we see, and he is this sort of outsider to this new world of the Smokestack twins, and they are his cousins. So he is the cousin of Michael B. Jordan, and he has an amazing musical gift. And I think that it was just that. This guy's never been in a movie before. This is his first thing that he's ever done, and I was blown away by the understatedness of his performance and the fact that he wasn't. And I think this is the impact of Ryan Coogler having a really sharp creative vision for this movie, that he just really kept him where he needed to be as a young actor. But I also think there's just a lot of raw talent there for Miles. Not just the singing talent, which is extraordinary. Yes. I was blown away by that, but also like legitimate, real acting chops. And that was just great to see. I felt like he was doing some things that were very detailed, not what you would expect from somebody who's this is their first movie. Some people do just kind of fall into it naturally, movie making, but it's rare. Even the best actors have taken time to grow. And that's not to say that he's already fully polished, but there was so much good going on with this performance, and there was such a control to it. I was really impressed. So I expect to come in here. There's some big names, some names that of people that I really have liked throughout their careers too. And yet here I am going with a newcomer, Miles Caton. I thought he was great.
That's fantastic, and it's rightfully earned too.
Yeah,
it's you could give it to you this and the next award for best supporting scene stealer. The ensemble was absolutely stellar.
Really good.
Yeah.
Yeah, really good.
Yep. All right, let's go with it. Scene stealer.
You're up.
Mr. Delroy Lindo.
It's such a good choice.
Gentlemen. I still, the first time I remember seeing him was in Nicolas Cage, Gone in 60 Seconds.
Heck yeah.
Like that he was just the stature and the swagger he has in that movie was what captured me. And he has been in just so many things. Most recently, of course, to Five Bloods. He's in Malcolm X, among 100 other film credits almost. And he's absolutely, to its definition, steals the show. He comes on screen and you cannot look away. He has also an incredible story arc written for him, and he plays it exactly as it should be. There are so many surprises with this performance and so many turns, and everything that's given to him, he takes at face value and runs it through his process and spits it back out in such a digestible visual way for you. Mr. Delroy Lindo, you are an all-star.
It's the choice. I mean, like that's for sure where I would have gone. I think the thing that is crazy to me about Delroy Lindo is I was thinking about this as I was watching the movie. I don't know that I've seen a performer. I mean, I certainly haven't seen a performer to whom acting comes more naturally.
Mm-hmm.
Like maybe there are people who it comes as naturally to him, but for him, it's just like, I don't think there's anybody who has a more natural feel for it than he does. The ease with which he slides into these characters is unreal. And I think some of that is, his longevity in his career, but it's sort of always been that way too. And he got snubbed for the Oscar for the Five Bloods, which I thought was crazy,
disastrous.
Yeah, I mean, like a scandal, a true scandal. Because he was so unbelievable in that movie. But he is one of these guys. I was just talking about it with Miles. Like some people just come to it naturally. Delroy Lindo can just do it.
Yeah,
he just got the God-given ability and just gets it.
It must be easy as a first-time film star come in and say, "Oh, you're going to be acting along Michael B. Jordan and Delroy Lindo. You have all the
You'll be
mentoring
right.
available to you.
Yeah.
Like, go for it, man."
It's crazy. So great pick, and that leaves me in a tough position because
it's not fair.
Like I said, I mean, I feel like the three that we took off the board are the three that like you have to mention in this film, and now it's like, where do I go? Where I'm gonna go is actually I'm gonna go with Haley Steinfeld.
Hey.
And the reason why, like, it's neck and neck with the other actress I was considering picking was, I gotta find her name, but she played Annie. She's it's buried in the cast list because it's by in order of appearance.
Which,
hold on,
that order of appearance on their particular cast list is crazy because there's so many.
Sorry, Wunmi Mosaku is who played Annie in the movie, and I thought she was stellar too and deserves flowers. She did incredible and had such good chemistry with Michael B. Jordan, but I didn't pick her, so I can't talk about her much more because that would be unfair. But she deserves it. And I honestly, like, it's a coin flip between her and Haley Steinfeld for this last award. But here's what I love about Haley Steinfeld's performance. First of all, I feel like as a longtime Haley Steinfeld stan who has been there since the beginning, Academy Award nominee Haley Steinfeld, by the way, let's put some respect on that name, for True Grit. She is extraordinarily talented. I feel like she's been underrated is what I was going to say. I feel like she's been a really underrated and underutilized talent. And maybe that's by her choice, which more power to her if she's just like, I don't really feel like acting right now. I feel like doing a little singing because she can sing beautifully as well. But as an actor, she is fantastic. And what I loved about this performance specifically was how different it was from anything she's ever done. And that's what I love to see, because then it just feels like, obviously these guys get paid a lot of money and it's glamorous and all those things. But whenever you see an actor who doesn't just sit in their pocket and who tries to do different things, that maybe I'm wrong, maybe I'm not. It just signals to me that they're in it for the love of the game. And I hope that that's the case. And I feel that that's the case with Haley Steinfeld, because there's always so much passion in her performances. She always commits and sells out all the way. This was no different. And I love seeing her in this capacity. I felt like it was totally different because of the sort of horror elements that are built into this film that is just different than anything she's ever done. And I thought she was stellar.
Yeah.
So
on par with like what Lily Rose Depp had to do for Nosferatu. A little different animal,
for sure.
Hers was exhausting,
physically demanding, and just.
But this one is like, it's exactly what you wanted when you saw her come on the screen.
Yes,
it's exactly what you wanted to play out. By the way, you had mentioned Annie's character, Wunmi Masaku. She is B15 in the Loki MCU world.
Yes, and she's so good in that role too.
Yeah.
And she was kind of like, I didn't recognize her.
Yeah.
So it's like you got that transformative element too, because that character in Loki is one of the best, and such an understated character as well. Man, she was so good in this movie though.
Yeah, when she popped up, I'm like, I know her.
Yes, same.
And there was a certain look she gave, and I'm like, Loki.
Well done. I did not connect the puzzle pieces at all.
Yeah, and I was like, this is so rewarding that she's here. Like she deserves to be there.
Definitely deserves it. She was awesome.
It was fantastic. So shout out to the entire ensemble, just again,
and the casting director.
Great job. Let's get some Oscars out for the casting directors. I think that because this ensemble is so good at the SAG Awards, they often give out a Best Ensemble award. I think they should be nominated because
it's early in the year.
It's
Kirk.
insane. They were in touch
really
with each other, in step with each other, and like big shout out to Jack O'Connell, who is an Irish actor, and he did a phenomenal job in this as well. I think specifically for his performance, they should be able to spin off a Sinners prequel movie at some point, or a Sinners prequel series would be really cool. I think that
look at you thinking like a studio executive, Kirk. I'm proud of you. Just going dollars.
Thank you. I just want to see what happened before he entered this world with our characters here. So no spoilers. It's just that watch out for Jack O'Connell when he comes on the screen. You won't even recognize him.
Buckle up.
And he's so good. I've been watching a lot of Jack O'Connell movies, by the way, too.
Haven't we all, Kirk? Haven't we all?
Start up. Let's go with our showstopper now. Something that captured you, a moment, a scene, or an element of the movie. Mine's going to be very easy. It's the originality of this movie. It's the screenwriting of this movie. A lot of reviewers, a lot of people who got early screeners for this, we weren't able to get one for this. I don't know why. That's fine. No big deal. But a lot of early reviews were calling it out and saying that it was an Avengers level movie experience. And I think it's because it is the ensemble piece here. I think it's because there's all these stories moving and they all fit together, and it feels like we're circling up like we do in Avengers at a certain point. And I felt that, and I felt that it was executed so perfectly. But the biggest piece of this is I've seen so many more original movies out this year so far, for better or for worse.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I'm happy for it.
For better,
right?
Yeah.
I'm done with all the sequels.
Word.
I only
preach.
I don't want to see it anymore. That trend has to die. And I'm so happy that Ryan Coogler went with this to put out an original piece, an original idea. And he, well, you'll find out if I thought he hit a home run or not. Showstopper. Cam.
I'm reading into that. My showstopper, I think, first of all, I think the originality is a great pick. My showstopper is similar but different. It's the fearlessness, which comes with originality, right? You have to have confidence to be original, but Ryan Coogler was fearless in this movie. He went with every instinct that he had, even if it was weird.
Yes.
And I loved that. I didn't know where he was going to go. There's one particular scene where this really culminates in this, this like they call it like a juke club where you go and listen to music and dance things people did.
It's a club.
People used to dance like for recreation on a regular basis.
I dance every day, Kim.
Because they didn't have TV and they didn't realize how awesome TV is, or movie theaters.
Those suckers,
idiots. No. But that's what people used to do. And there's one scene in the club that, is heavily involved in this movie, where the whole thing sort of comes into focus, and you start to see the pieces come together. And during this, I saw it in IMAX. Humble brag. Had to see it in IMAX because it was shot. Only movie this year, by the way, that was shot with IMAX film cameras. So I know a lot of people, first of all, if you're new to movies and you're intimidated by the formats and the 70 millimeter and the 35 millimeter, there's this great video about by Ryan Coogler talking about film formats and things like that. But this film was shot on IMAX camera, so I wanted to see it in IMAX. We have exactly one IMAX screen near us. But during the scene, when you see it in IMAX, there's an aspect ratio change too. So you've got all this coming into focus. It's kind of this overstimulating thing. It's this bold scene with stuff happening that you're just like, is this really happening? Is this actually happening on the screen right now? And you've also got this aspect ratio change happening, and it's just like, boom, in your face. And I sat there in that particular moment and just went, holy cow, what a swing he just took. And you know, whenever something like that happens in a movie, at first you're like, I don't know how to feel because it's so unexpected. But as it resolved, I was just like, yes. And that wasn't the only thing. There were times where he leaned into campiness, not only just in the writing and in the story, but also in the music.
Yes.
You know, which I thought was such a confident, fearless choice. And so I love that this is a big studio picture for him. And he's done a couple of big studio pictures for sure, right? I mean, some of the biggest, right? Black Panther. But this is like, you know, he's working with Warner Brothers. They're backing in the Brinks truck. He's got an original script, original movie, not tied to any IP. And here he is just swinging. And that is freaking admirable. And something that as a fan of movies or, you know, again, if you're like new to movies or whatever, this is the kind of thing we dream about.
Yes.
A creative person who is just going to go for it. And they're not beholden to anybody or worried about anything. They're going to make the movie they want to make and take big swings. And that's what he did. And I just was like, I was left in awe. I really was.
It's what changes like just another vampire movie into an original piece of art. The big swings that he took in this were so remarkable, and they shouldn't work. And
exactly. That's a great point.
And they absolutely work.
They do,
because of all the pieces that he set up beforehand and during and even after moments, like the different moments of those things that Cameron is alluding to, because we can't tell you because this is spoiler free.
I found myself, this is how much of a nerd I am. I found myself grinning like an idiot whenever I realized, like, I'm giddy about it right now. Like the fact that he was doing all this stuff and it was working. I was just like, this is crazy. Like, this should not work.
I've requested footage from the theater to see him.
Everybody around me was probably like, what is this guy's problem?
But I was just
grinning?
Like, should we be concerned?
I'm sorry. This guy's he's cooking. And he was.
Oh, and one other thing to talk about cameras some more, because I know you guys came here for the IMAX camera talk. I'm most impressed when actors perform in front of an IMAX camera, because if you see the behind the scenes, those things are really loud. Like, Cameron, just like say to be the IMAX camera.
Okay.
To be or not to be.
That's an accurate sound.
They're so loud.
They're
And imagine, so like one of my favorite behind the scenes footages is from Oppenheimer, where the camera is directly above Cillian Murphy's face when he's like lying in a bed, and it's like, I mean, it's like 6 inches from his face, and it's the IMAX camera, and it's that loud, if not louder, and he's just. For those of you listening, I just opened my eyes basically. So he's just so calm, and he's in the zone. Yeah,
and that's another thing about the fearlessness, right? Is like, this is his first movie since Fruitvale Station that he shot on film. And when he shot Fruitvale Station, it was on 16 millimeter film, which is a very like standard format.
Yeah. And
this is 70 millimeter, which like it is exactly what it sounds like, right? Millimeters. So it's wider and it's higher resolution, shallower depth of field. I mean, there's a video where he talks about all the differences between it that we'll post on social, and we'll add it into the comments of this video too. It's crazy. So again, it's that fearlessness of just like, he had a vision and nothing was getting in his way. He was just like, boom, that's what I'm doing. So
beautiful.
Kudos.
Let's keep going. We're going to talk about director shoes now. This is if we were to step into Mr. Coogler's, slippers. Why not? If he would allow us to. What do you think his slippers look like? Do you think they're like bunnies?
Do you think he wears Crocs on set? I was kind of wondering.
I mean, he's cool.
I feel like a lot of successful people wear Crocs.
Crocs are back. I mean, I'll never set foot in them because they were uncool when I was a kid. I can't do it.
It's like a mental block at this point.
I can't do it.
I've never worn Crocs, but they make a lot of sense. I have to admit, they make a lot of sense.
Like,
I feel like
on clouds.
Like Ryan Coogler might be a Crocs guy. We'll have to investigate.
Okay.
We'll figure that out.
We'll look at all the behind the scenes photos from
be like, do the Leo meme. Whoop. I can't whistle.
What are those things called that you put into the Crocs? Do you know what those are called? They have a specific
name. I don't
name.
know, but it's gotten out of hand.
Like the decorations, and they're from all of your favorite things.
It's like getting a pop socket, but for your Crocs.
Exactly. A Funko Pop for your Crocs. Anyways, director's shoes. Whatever shoes you wear, Ryan Coogler, I'm going to be really picky, like really, really picky, because I did actually enjoy this movie a lot. There is not a lot of bite at the beginning of this movie.
I see what you did there.
I'll see myself.
I like it. I like it.
Not a lot of bites. There's a few messy plot points in throughout the entire movie. They're clear. Like, I know what he was wanting to do, but he could have been even bolder in those moments visually, and that's why I feel like they're messy plot points. They're not plot holes. They're just messy. He's so clean, and these moments are not clean, and I'm like, why? And so it kind of annoyed me. The dialogue at times has the Christopher Nolan effect. You can't hear all of it
because being buried by Ludwig Göransson.
Yes, and they're in Mississippi for this, so some very deep Southern accents are being covered quite well by all the actors, so it gets garbled a little bit. The ending is rushed by like 3 beats. There's a big moment where this movie turns, and it just needed a few more seconds before they really pulled the trigger. And then I really would have been just like crying in a puddle of happiness of how it was executed. And the movie doesn't have multiple endings. That's a rating killer for me. But there is a significant scene that plays out in what you could call the mid-credit scene of this movie. So don't get up. Do not get out of your seat.
You can't do it.
When those credits roll, stay put. There's a significant scene that happens of like after 6 people's names are read.
It's like 7 minutes long. It's so much longer than you would ever expect it to be.
Yeah, it's like a real prologue. Like if you're a book reader, it is a true prologue. Oh, sorry. I'm not a book reader.
Kirk just outed himself. He's like, the thing in books
at the end called the pro.
No, this proves that you've tried to read books many times, because the prologue is at the beginning, but you never finished them. There it is.
Oh, okay. All right. Wow. How's your director's shoes look, Cam?
Yeah, I do. I will just say this is not my core director shoes, but I do share your feeling that the ending was a little bit rushed. Felt like they could have let it breathe a little bit more. A specific part of the ending, I imagine we're talking about the same part, where it's such a well-paced movie that you just feel like I don't even remember what the runtime is. I think it's like 2 hours and 3 minutes or
2:18.
2:18. Okay. So a little bit on the longer side, I would say. And it doesn't feel that way. It's extraordinarily well paced, and he lets things breathe when they need to breathe. And there's just, again, so much confidence in the edit and what he's showing and what he's not showing. But there is a part at the end where it's just like, okay, whoa, slow down. Let this breathe a little bit. Tiny nitpick there. I think my biggest one, there are it's beautifully shot, and it's really smartly, thoughtfully edited, and the shot composition and the blocking is really good. There are times with the visual aesthetic choices that I just don't agree with them. And I think that that's just kind of like personal preference. Like, there are some exterior shots where I'm like, I don't like the way the colors turned out here. I don't like the way the lighting kind of turned out. It's all, I think, intentional, especially when you look at like some of his inspirations for the movie being like From Dusk Till Dawn and some of these like actual vampire movies as well.
The Lost Boys is there a little bit too.
Yeah. So it's like you can see where it comes from, and I think it's consistent with what he has done with his career. But there are just a few things where I'm like, don't necessarily love that aesthetic choice or that visual effects choice or whatever was made. But that's really it. I mean, I think the other thing is like personal director shoes is I wish this was not spoiler free. Like, I wish we could, because the themes, there's so much going on with the themes that I am dying to talk to somebody about it.
I'm here. We'll turn off the cameras.
Yeah. Once we're done, we'll dig into it. But also, if you're watching this and you go see it, or you've already seen it, hit us up so that we can have some discussion, because that's one of the good things about this movie too. But for me, I mostly just had some visual aesthetic nitpicks, but that was really it. There were times where the music was also loud, Christopher Nolan style.
It was. It was like watching Tenet. The theater experience for Tenet was cool, but aggravating because you couldn't hear the dialogue at all.
Yeah. I also felt similarly about Interstellar, but I felt like with Interstellar, I just was probably watching it on a screen where the technology was not where it needed to be, because it was just like, it was a theater, standard format theater back in the day. Like, it wasn't IMAX, wasn't anything. And it's like Christopher Nolan, who's always doing like whatever's best.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like Tenet, that it's hard to know. And this too, like I was watching it in IMAX, there's a premium format. So I was like, it probably shouldn't be too loud, but you never know.
It was actually just, they had an IMAX playing in the theater just to give you a real fact. Last looks. This is our final thoughts and score on Sinners, spoiler free. I love that you said From Dusk Till Dawn. If you've seen
Shout out Robert Rodriguez.
If you've seen that insane movie.
That is an insane movie.
Lots of inspiration from there. Lost Boys. I feel like if you're a big fan of the movie Blade, like the OG with Wesley Snipes, not the one that, if we ever get one, with Mahershala.
That is just a running joke at this point.
This is a better Blade movie than Blade is.
I like that.
Blade's all about vampires. This one's got vampires. I really enjoyed this movie. Really, really enjoyed this movie. I think that it will be talked about for a long time. I don't know if it'll get any Oscars love, mostly because this is April. But there could be some screenplay stuff coming up in next year's Oscar awards. We'll see. We'll root for it. But then again, I rooted for Bike Riders last year, and it got forgotten to time. I'm going to give this guy an 8.5 out of 10 kernels today.
I like it. I like it a lot. Listen, if you have listened to me, you know I love bold movies that make. I would rather somebody. I've probably said this 1,000 million times, but I would rather somebody take swings and miss than not take swings at all and make just a genre movie. Mm-hmm. For me, to be a great movie, to be in that like 8 out of 10 or higher area, you have to be taking swings, and you also, to be like really, really, really great, you have to transcend genre for me. You have to go beyond, even if it doesn't necessarily mean that you're mixing genres either. Even if you're making a genre movie, but you're doing something that is a paradigm shift, like you have to push the envelope. And I felt like this one does that in spades. Like, I feel like he just was really confident, was really going for it. I love the cast. I love the story. I thought the story was brilliant. I think the theming is really rich, and I think it's very thought provoking. And I feel like one of my encouragements would be with people who go see it is like, talk to people about it, because what's nice is we've ragged on a lot of movies recently, particularly some high profile satire type films that just like bash you over the head with what their movie's about. And I feel like this one was very articulate in what it was about, but it wasn't bashing you over the head. It's one of those things where, like, if you just want to sit back and enjoy this movie and not think about anything thematically, you can absolutely do that.
Yep.
It's not going to, come to your front door and barge its way in and be like, you need to listen to this thing. But if you're looking for the thematic elements, or if they come across, or if you're thinking about it in that kind of way, they're there and they're rich and it's well articulated. And then you start to look at the characters and how they all fit within that thematic thing. And you're like, this is a real movie. This is real, this is real art, but it's also entertaining. It's wildly entertaining. It's fast. It's loud. There's guns, there's violence, there's music by who I think is the biggest upcoming composer that we had, Ludwig Göransson. I don't even know if you can call him up and coming anymore. He's like an Academy Award winner. He's a beast, and
he's got long hair too.
Oh
right?
Yeah,
like Beethoven.
If your name's Ludwig, you got long hair. Show me a Ludwig with short hair. I don't think there is one anywhere.
You have to change your name if you don't have long hair.
So you've got that going on, and you've got Ryan Coogler, who's just, again, I'll say it for the umpteenth time, so confident, so in his zone, with such a sharp creative vision. It's got a lot going for it. I think it's very memorable. I'm giving it a 9.0 flat out of 10, which is my highest score of the year. And it's definitely my favorite movie of the year so far.
It's beautiful. I mean, not for the faint of heart. There is, it is a vampire movie, so there is gore.
There's gore
galore.
There's it's a bit graphic with the language.
Yep.
There's some colorful language used.
Colorful language. Yep. Adult content, right?
Yes.
It's
a hard R.
Hard
I'll say that hard one. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Just be careful. Be careful if you're not used to watching those movies. Just watch what you like. Watch what you like and what you're comfortable with. If you're thinking of, I do want to explore that. It's not your traditional vampire movie. It transcends genre, like Cam said. Then we're all in on this movie.
Also,
obviously.
pee your pants meter.
Woo!
You have a high?
I do, yeah.
Wow. I don't know. How high do you have it?
Okay,
one to pee your pants.
So I didn't see it in IMAX, but I saw it on the ultra screen, which
ultra
is like
screen. That's fake.
It was just like the step down.
I call it. That's fake. I don't think that's real. Somebody who knows things about aspect ratios and premium formats, let me know. I think that's a fake premium format.
I think it's fake. They pump the Dolby kind of vibrations into the room at the start of the movie, and then it kind of tapers out because they don't want to. They don't want to affect the screens around them, I think. But I will say it was a great experience.
Yeah.
Some of those jump scares that happen in this movie, I mean, they got me.
It's still a big screen, and the way he shot the movie is good for that screen too.
I would say it's at least a 6.
A 6
on pee your pants scale.
See, I was gonna say that it's low on pee your pants scale.
Well, I did also have to pee. I had only a large soda.
So Kirk was already at a 3, just a flat 3. Just
that was my incoming. I was 3. I didn't have any food because I had eaten dinner or lunch like an hour before that. So I was like, I just need a drink. So nothing was absorbing, So yeah.
I'd put it at like 3 or 4 on the pee your pants scale.
I got you.
So like Kirk and I are wusses. For those of you who don't know, that's why we do this. For any other wusses out there, I would say low risk of peeing your pants.
Yeah.
Low risk.
Nosferatu in comparison, pee your pants all day long.
One of the hardest jump scares of my life, like 30 seconds into that movie. Just like, yeah.
Oh my goodness. Well, we're gonna get out of here. We highly recommend Sinners. Thanks for checking out our spoiler-free review. We will be here very soon again. I got a haircut. Cam, you look good as always.
Hair's too long.
So we're ready to be back in the studio and in front of you and talking with you. And so check us out on YouTube, on Facebook, on X, on TikTok sometimes, on anything where you can get your consume all of your movie review stuff. We're here for you. Our website, popcorn4breakfast.com. That's popcorn4breakfast.com. And email us. What's our email again, Cam?
contact@popcorn4breakfast.com.
How corporate. Like, it's so great.
Very corporate.
We're ready for you. So email us, text us if you have our number, Facebook message us, all the things.
Discord us
all the time. Discord us. I've been trying to be more active in that as
You've
well.
heard of people being off the grid. We're on the grid.
That's right.
We're in the grid. We love the grid.
We are.
So hop in there.
#we love the grid. Go see a movie in the theater. We'll talk to you next time.
Peace.